Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm going to be giving you a finance update for September 2023. Happy October and quarter four of 2023. It's the final stretch of the year, and I know that it's about to fly by and soon it's going to be 2024, but here we are. Let's hop right in because these videos are always super long, and I'm going to start with the money goals that I set for September. My first goal was to put at least $2,500 to my savings, and this is kind of outside of my usual sinking fund. So every month I contribute to my car insurance sinking fund and gifts, beauty, all that stuff. And this was really, I don't know why I didn't break it down. This was really for my debt over it scholarship/grant sinking fund, as well as my 2024 Roth IRA savings or sinking fund. And between those two, I wanted to save over $2,500, and I was able to do that. And of course, as we go through everything, I will give you specifics, including how much I actually put to each and then how much, like what the balance ended at for the month. My second goal was to earn at least $3,000 from my business income. I think I had said my online and extra income, but really I wanted it just to be from my business income because I wasn't too sure if that was going to be possible for September. In August, things started slowing down, and then I could tell that going into September, things might be low as well. But I'm happy to say that I did earn more than $3,000 from my business. I will give you that exact amount, and then in my other video, my September income report video, I give a breakdown of where that money came from. And then the final goal that I kind of set in my September budget video was to actually stay in budget and like really focus. I spent a lot of money in July. Yeah, I just spent a lot of money in the summer months, like a lot in health and beauty, a lot in my business expenses. I was going over on groceries and food out a couple of months in a row. So really, those are the areas that I wanted to stay in budget. Anything that I had more control of, I wanted to stay in budget. And I'm happy to say that I did. And we'll go through everything and you'll see. There's a couple of things that are going to be in red and a couple of things that I didn't expect to have to pay for. But when I was thinking of this goal and going into September, it was more so about staying in budget with like groceries, food, health, and beauty. With that being said, we can go ahead and hop over to my spreadsheet, and we're going to start with my income first, and then we'll go into all of my spending. All right, up on the screen, you will see my income for September, or my spreadsheet that is about to have my income. If you are interested in this spreadsheet, I have this link down below. You can get it for free. First up would be my work income. I am a Salesforce consultant, and this is net income, so not including my 401k and stuff. So $4,051.74. That's been about the same for the last several months. Business income, this is again my gross earnings. That came out to $3,401.03. So close to being under 3,000, but happy to say that I was over the 3,000 mark, and that's what I was hoping for. On the other hand, with other income or extra income, this is my gross earnings here as well. That was only $55.90. This breakdown will also be in that income report video I was talking about. This is like the worst I've ever made in extra income in like months, potentially a couple of years. I'd have to go back and look, but usually I'm making a couple of hundred at least from like various sources, but this was, yeah, a very slow month as far as extra income goes. That's okay. I'm still happy with something, you know, like $55.90 is still helpful, but I am looking forward to this increasing a bit over the next few months. And then finally, I did pull some money from my sinking funds, $275, and I will talk about where this comes in as I go through my spending. So altogether, I was working with about $7,783 for the month of September. All right, and now we can move on to my actual spending. This top blue section, sinking funds. First up is my taxes sinking fund. This is money that I set aside for quarterly estimated tax payments for my business income. And I budgeted $600, ended up actually only transferring $450 just because based off of my income and then subtracting my business expenses, I did not need to put $600. Gift sinking fund, I budgeted $75. That was $75. Car/car maintenance, $100 is correct. Car insurance, $100. Beauty, $75. Debt over at grant/scholarship sinking fund. This is coming in November, so stay tuned for that announcement. I budgeted $500, ended up transferring $550 there, and then I'm expecting to finish this sinking fund. I want $1,000 there. I'll finish that in October or this month. And then my Roth IRA 2024 sinking fund, I wanted at least $2,000 there. Ended up doing, I'm going to say I achieved this. So that sinking fund used to be my student loan debt savings account. So it had 8 cents left in it from, I think it was that account. Yeah, it was like an old account, so it had some change left in it from whatever I left in there before. So because of that, I didn't have to do the full $2,000. I did $1,999.92, so $2K. For my furniture sinking fund, I budgeted $150, and that's because I thought I would finish this sinking fund in August, but I didn't do that. And the reason I didn't do that, I think I explained this last month, is because I had been traveling the final week of August, and I was still traveling when I got paid, so I wasn't able to make any transfers. You can't log into your Marcus account when you're out of the country. I mean, maybe you can if you're on a VPN, but it's not even something I'm worried about. So I wasn't able to make any of my big transfers until I got back in September. So I actually ended up transferring $1,221.75 to that. And this was just like an odd amount so I could get that balance to an even $6,000. And I'll tell y'all where this is at as of the end of September, of course. As far as staying in budget goes, I know that you're seeing some red here because I went over budget, but these are savings things, so I don't count that as over budget. It's actually a better thing. Brokerage account, I budgeted $100. I actually ended up doing $115. So again, you'll see it as red, but I don't count this as over budget. This was actually all from direct support. So I do have a goal of putting at least $100 to my brokerage every month while I'm not having to invest in my Roth IRA, or while I'm not able to. And then a couple of people chose to support me in September, and any money that I receive in direct support goes toward my brokerage account. So that's where that came from. Donate, I budgeted $100, ended up doing $50, so $50 under budget. I did not mean to do this intentionally. I actually meant to donate an additional $50 at the end of the month, but I completely forgot about it. I kept thinking about it, even on Friday, the last Friday of the month. I was like, oh yeah, I need to do that. And then I was like, I'll do it tomorrow though, but then I completely forgot. So I may do an extra amount in October, but the other thing is I know that last year my company matched what we donated to where we donated to, and they were matching up to $500. So I had donated $500 to Barkville Animal Rescue last year. I think it was in December, and then my company did an additional $500. So I might wait and see if that's going to be happening, because I'll definitely do the $500 again, or I might do $150 in October or November. I don't know yet. House/utilities, I budgeted $1,147.05. That ended up being $1,122, so a little bit under budget here. I think we overestimated on, oh no, you know what happened? First of all, our water bill came in, it always comes in on the 2nd or 3rd of the month. So that adjusted things. But then I had purchased stuff for our house. What did I buy? Some cleaning supplies? Oh, toilet paper and that sort of stuff. And so I split that in half. It was $30 worth of stuff. So I took off $15 from what I'm paying for the house and utilities to cover that. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So then household, I budgeted $100 and spent $65.86. So this household spending includes everything that I purchased, but then that's why I lowered what I gave my boyfriend for house and utilities. Groceries, I budgeted $400, so this was the big area that I wanted to stay under budget. Oh, also, speaking of household, I stayed under budget there, which I've been going over there, so that's a good one. And then groceries ended up being $350.35. So I was under budget here by $49.65. And honestly, part of this was because I got so sick. And I had no appetite, I didn't want to eat. And then my boyfriend had gone grocery shopping for me and bought me some soups and stuff. So I did not oh, he even bought me like my really expensive yogurts. Like one thing of yogurt that I buy is $8, and it's like this small tub, and he bought two of those for me. Yeah, there was like 1 week where I completely skipped. So I don't recommend that method. Like, you don't want to get sick and just not eat food, but it did save me money, so that's good. And then food out, I budgeted 75, ended up right under budget, which is great. I spent $72.75. And this was even with like I bought Starbucks for myself and 3 other people. Yeah, so this included a few outings, mostly just for myself, but looks pretty good. Gas for my car, I budgeted 60. That was over. I did end up having to go twice. Somehow the numbers added up to be a perfect $81. I love when that happens. So I was over budget here by $21, but that's not something I am concerned about. That's not really something I can control. Like, when you need gas, you just go get gas. Health and beauty, I budgeted $150. This was another area that I wanted to stay under budget. Ended up spending $135.66. So this was a few things, a couple of LabCorp bills. I paid for my medication, and then I did go to urgent care and they gave me medication there. So I had to pay my copay at the urgent care, as well as for the prescriptions, which was like $60 for that whole trip. And then I bought some lotion. So the urgent care was because I got sick, and I'm fine now. But happy to say I am under budget there by $14.34. Dogs, I budgeted $162.01. That is accurate. Business, I budgeted $1,000. That was accurate as well, about $947 there. Ended up being $947.02. Netflix is $23.48. Gym is $39.99. Gifts, I budgeted $150. My boyfriend's birthday was in September, and I spent $124.59, so a little bit under budget there. I pulled $125 from my gift sinking fund, which is what it's there for. And then parking, I budgeted $100. This was to park at the airport. That ended up being $85.10. So that's good. It wasn't too bad of a deal. This was our first time actually parking at the airport. Like, typically we would take Ubers to the airport, but it's more expensive from where we live now, or like further distance. So this covered 7 days of parking plus a shuttle from parking to the airport, and then from the airport and back, which I think is pretty good. Typically when we would take an Uber, there would be sometimes it would cost this much, even at my apartment. Like, when I lived at my apartment and we would take an Uber from the airport back to my apartment, sometimes it would be this expensive. So one trip would have cost $85. It just depends on the timing, like when you get back. So yeah, definitely worth it. That was with Park and Fly in Atlanta, by the way. I would recommend if you're in Atlanta. Next, I have 2 things that I did not budget for. So the first is travel. This is something I kind of just forgot about. I had budgeted for it back in like June or July, and that's the car rental. We ended up booking the car rental in June or July, but didn't have to pay for it until August. So my boyfriend ended up paying for that, and then I sent him half of it. So that was $271. And then final thing is fun/entertainment. That was $190.60. And you'll see a note here that I paid for 4 other people. So gifts, ? I actually was going to budget this for October. This is a candlelight concert. My boyfriend and I went to a candlelight concert last year. It was Halloween themed, and it was like literally one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was so just magical, and I loved it so much. We both did, and like the whole time I was just like smiling watching them perform. So this year we want to go to a Christmas theme one, but we decided to invite our family, a few people from family. So I paid for everything, and I figured they were gonna pay me back, but I figured I would just cover it. So this costs about $38 per person, and I counted $38 as fun/entertainment for myself, and then the rest of that I pulled from my sinking fund. So that the gifts plus this fun/entertainment for the 4 other people, that's where the $275 that I pulled from my sinking fund came from. Altogether, I spent $8,408, And then if we exclude what I put to savings and investments, I actually only spent $2,774. All right, now we're going to my full spreadsheet so we can look at my savings, investments, and my net worth, the exciting stuff. This top section is my sinking funds. These are all with Marcus by Goldman Sachs. And these are the balances of each on the final day of the month, so after the interest accrued. First up is my taxes sinking fund, and I did have to pay taxes in September, but then put money back in, so that went down to $454.03. Emergency fund, that grew because of the interest, and that's now at $12,127.27. Decent amount of growth there. Gifts, that went down because I pulled $275 from it, $513.97. Travel, I didn't add to it. That's at $4.25. Car maintenance, $2,615.76. Car insurance, $405.07. Beauty, $75.47. Sabbatical, nothing there, $14.75. House down payment, also nothing there, $101.85. Furniture/home, I did reach that goal of $6,000, and then the interest came through to $6,025.06. 2024 Roth IRA, this was previously my student loan sinking fund. That's at $2,002.04, or as of the end of September. And then the debt overhead scholarship is one that I added on, and that is $551.07. So altogether, I have $24,890.59 in my sinking funds. That is about like a little over $2,000 increase compared to last month. And yeah, you can kind of see where the shifts occurred. Next up would be my investments. And first is my Roth IRA. That went down 4.5%, unfortunately, which I know it really doesn't matter at this point. It's so annoying to see when, like, my goal this year is to reach a net worth of 100,000. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a bummer when, like, you're seeing some progress, but then it goes down. It actually went down last month too, compared to the previous month. So yeah, market's just down right now. That's okay. That is at $22,056.57. My 401k did go up, but that's really because I put so much money into it, including like what my company puts in. So that's up 1.5% at $14,060.75. M1 Finance or M1 Invest, that is down as well, down 4.8% at $6,308.41. My brokerage account with Vanguard, M1 Finance is also a brokerage account, by the way. My brokerage account with Vanguard, that went up 7.2%. That's really because it's a small balance. That is at $827.74. And then Coinbase. It seems like anytime the market is down, like regular stock market, not crypto goes up, which is interesting. I don't invest in crypto anymore. This was just stuff that I had put in before and referrals. So Coinbase is up 4.2% at $372.85. Altogether, I have $43,626.32 invested, which unfortunately is a decrease of 2.4% compared to last month. So now we can go down to the yellow exciting section. This is my net worth. My net worth ended up at $69,706.04. I do not have any student loan debt anymore, so no liabilities. A couple of call outs here for my assets. I do not include my taxes sinking fund. I don't include the value of my car. That is just personal preference. If you want to do that, by all means, then you can do that, but I just don't. And then I do add in the balance in my checking accounts. So for September, that was a little over $1,600. I will be filming my quarterly update soon, and y'all know that I usually set like quarterly net worth goals. So it's definitely not where I want to be, but it's okay. It's still increased compared to last month, but since the market was down, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. You can see my little chart here. Sorry, we're going crazy. This is how my net worth has behaved over 2023. And then down here we have from all of 2021 through now. And I just love this graph so much. Like, I think it's so cool. I'm excited for it to continue to grow. Like, I don't want the time to go fast, you know, but it's just so cool to see it. And I always say this, but if you haven't started tracking your net worth, please do so, because I guarantee you, if you're into finances, or if you're like getting into finances and you see yourself having some sort of interest in tracking long term, which you should be, you are going to regret not having old data, because I do for sure. Like, I wish I had my net worth numbers from 2017, 2018, 2019, all of that. So, but it's okay. We have something. All right, final number here is my credit score. This is actually my Vantage score with Credit Karma. That is at 805, still in the 800s, which is very exciting. Also, I did pay off my student loan debt in August, but that still has not reflected on my credit score. So it still shows that I have that debt, even though it's all gone. So I'm waiting for that to update, and I'll see if my score drops at all. I'll let y'all know. Final thing to go over would be my 2023 goal tracker. I do have this for sale on my Etsy shop if you are interested in having this for yourself. You'll notice that I removed a couple of things, so I actually just hid them. So they're still on here, but the two goals that I had on here was to be debt-free and then maxing out my 2023 Roth IRA. So since those are done and they've been done, I figured I don't need to show them in these videos anymore. My emergency fund is done for 2023, like I've already hit this goal, but I still have money going into this account because of the interest. So I figured I'd still track that and show it. So in September, that grew by $51.03. And as I told y'all, I have about $12,140 there now. Next goal was my furniture fund, and the goal here was $6,000, and I was able to finish that in September. So I put a total of $1,406.81 to this sinking fund, because this includes, I had pulled money from my student loan debt sinking fund, which is now a different sinking fund, but that had accrued some interest in August, so I rolled that over into this fund. I don't account for that in my spending because I should do this, but I don't count the interest that I earned as part of my extra income in my budget and spending. I think I'm going to start doing that in 2024, but since I haven't been consistent with it for this year, I haven't done that at all this year, I figured I'll just, start things fresh in 2024. But anyways, yeah, this does include the interest accrued, and now my furniture fund is it's over $6,000. Next goal is to have a $100,000 or more net worth. My net worth increased by $2,186.96. So a little bit behind on this goal. If I could come up with, I don't know that I'll be able to increase my net worth by $30,000 over the next 3 months. That sounds a little bit out of reach, but definitely in the next 4, 5, 6 months, I think I'll be able to hit a 100K net worth in Q1 of 2024 at least, if it's not this year. Who knows? We'll see. Still gonna push for that though, but if I were to hit 100K, that means I would have had to have saved and invested a lot more. Next goal is a $100,000 or more income, or gross income specifically. And in September, that all came to $9,336.93. This is from my full-time job, gross income, my business, as well as extra income. I'm close to this. $95,733. The thing for the year, I'm going to be looking at 130K max, 120 to 130. And I've never made this much money before. I've never made over 6 figures, actually. Next is making over $30,000 from my business income for the year. And I did it. I did it for September. So we are 3 months ahead here. Like I said, I made about $3,400 for the month. So if we add up the whole year, I've earned over $32,000 gross income from my business. Keep in mind that I do have to pay taxes on this, and then, like I keep saying, lots in business expenses. So this is really just supplemental income and helping me to build my business on the side while I work full time. But this is the most amount of money I've ever made, and I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to having it continue to increase. And then final thing here is spending less than $50,000 for the year. I am looking good. This is actual spending. So if I'm saving, investing, my business expenses, that's not included here. So far I'm at 64% out of 50K, which is good. and I think I will be able to stay under 50K. Like it's probably going to be under 40K, honestly, which is amazing because the less you can spend, then the less you need for like your savings, specifically if you're planning on taking a sabbatical, or the less you need in retirement, you know. So I'm excited to be on track here. That is everything for September. I would say it was a pretty good month. Not my strongest month, but still great overall. And I'm really happy with, you know, staying in budget and keeping up with my goals. Like I feel like I'm saving a lot and it's just getting easier and easier. I hope all of y'all had an amazing month. Feel free to comment down below if you achieved your goals or if you want to share something exciting that happened in September. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really supports my channel, and I'll see you in my next one.